just sent you a little picture, and I want you to experience how I watched this episode of Baywatch.
Okay.
It's in the photo.
Okay. No. Oh my god. This photo is ZJ in her apartment with a virtual headset on, fully
Yes.
immersed in Baywatch.
Yes.
I'm Nicole Mackey.
I'm ZJ Hadley. You're listening to a recap podcast drowning in nostalgia.
Welcome to Baywatchers.
Yeah, so I got my VR Oculus headset out recently. I don't know, mixing it up a bit, and I've been playing this really great Lego game that's on there. If anyone else bought one of these during the pandemic and then hasn't looked at it since, a new Lego game has come out, and I do suggest it. And then I thought, hey, I wonder if I can watch TV in this bad boy. And wouldn't you know it, there's a Pluto TV app, which is where I've been watching since there was some tomfoolery with the episode, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm on Pluto
Yeah.
now. It's not on Amazon in Canada. That's the root of my
Oh,
issue. Just so
I'm
you know, I'm
sorry.
not being difficult.
Okay.
But anyway, it's available. So there's a Tubi or whatever it is that I just said app in there. And I booted that up and immediately Baywatch happening in front of my eyes. And it wasn't like being in it because that's not how VR works. It's not recorded in 3D,
Sure.
sadly.
Yeah.
But it was still fun. But about 10 minutes in, I realized it's not possible to take notes while wearing a VR headset.
Unless you're like, hey, thou who
Oh,
shall
a
not be named,
voice.
because she'll listen.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, and then you're adding notes that way. But that seems very, I don't know.
Yeah, so I gave up, but not before snapping that photo for you.
I
I
love it.
really
Oh my
enjoyed
god.
it.
Oh, you know what? I'm bummed you didn't watch the whole thing with your VR headset, because I want to know
Yeah.
if that changed this episode for you, like stakes wise. If it like heightened it in some way for you, because this wasn't a very heightened episode for me. They tried.
Well, I've the stakes were high, but everyone is so under worried about everything that I don't know how to feel because I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
enthralled. I'm
Yeah.
worried about these children and everybody else is like, I guess we should go looking for them. But it's dark.
When we I know this is like middle of the episode and we'll go back a bit, but like when we finally find out the kids are missing,
Mhm.
it's daytime. Literally the next scene when they're like, "Okay, we need to get people out there searching for them." Literally the next scene, fully dark,
Yeah.
finding a couple fucking on the beach under a lifeguard tower. And I
Yeah.
go, "Where sorry, why didn't we get any pomp and circumstance
No.
around Mitch freaking out about his child?"
They're not worried about these children like usual. But then what I found really fascinating was at night, he's like fighting with a police officer, begging someone to go looking for his children, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, who is he talking to? Because he's not talking to Garner Ellerby. Because
No.
Garner Ellerby would be available for Mitch's child.
He's probably
And
there in the waiting room or something. Like, he's probably
yeah,
around, you know?
they only have one indoor set piece. So that's
Yeah.
where everybody is.
Yeah. It's Mitch's office and, like, barely the little outside of right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, not only do now I guess everybody's interested in finding these children, and they literally get like multiple helicopters and stuff. And I need to talk about the helicopter budget, not for the filming of the show, but in the reality, in the
Yeah.
world of the show. Like I just how these helicopters it seems like such a huge expense.
Yeah. Well, I wonder, because I was thinking about this too, because I'm like, oh, I clocked that it was neither a Coast Guard or lifeguard helicopter. It was a police
Oh.
helicopter.
Oh,
And
interesting.
Ellerby was in the front seat.
Yeah, and Ellerby is a cop.
And he's a regular
A
policeman
regular
who
cop.
wears shorts for some reason.
He because I've seen his thighs and they made that outfit for him.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
like, "You, sir, above the knee."
Yeah. They're like, we're gonna take an inch off these shorts, just for everyone involved.
Mhm.
Um, okay, and then I wonder if it's because, like, in this world, I guess, that we've established, it is Los Angeles, and there are helicopters always
It's true,
kind
I
of.
see a lot of helicopters on the beach.
Yeah. And sometimes they're traffic, but I think they could be police or they could be like a news network. So maybe it's like one of those and
But
it
it's
just kind of peeled
The day
off.
before, they didn't give a shit about the kids. At
Yeah.
night, they didn't give a shit about the kids. But in the morning, multiple helicopters available, all forces. So is there like a turning point where they were like, at 5
Yes.
hours, we're not worried, but at 6 hours, we're all in?
I don't think you can drive a helicopter over water at night because like, you can't tell the horizon.
Are you bringing facts in here?
Is this something I know from
I thought
somewhere
I
at
thought
some
this was
point?
a safe space.
I
I didn't
know.
know you'd been fact checking.
I didn't. I think I just know this if it's even accurate. But yeah, I think that's maybe the reason why they couldn't send the helicopters out at night. And also it's like what you could only see what the searchlight was seeing, whereas if you go
Right,
during the
right.
day, you could see a lot more. I don't know. Also,
Okay.
okay, but I took this note. How do they search the water for like a missing boat or whatever? Like, is it kind of like when you vacuum or mow a lawn where you go, like you kind of want to
Oh,
go in a
backsy
grid?
forthies.
Yeah. Or do they just drive around and look? There
I
must
don't
be some
know.
sort of method.
Well, okay, here's how I would do it. I would have all of the boats in the area reporting boats that they see, and
Oh.
then I would take the helicopter to those areas.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, that's smart. Or, okay, this is what I would
Maybe it's
do.
a, we don't know if it's smart. Maybe it's the worst idea because we're missing out on all the areas that where people aren't already looking.
Oh, oh. Yeah, that's true.
Now I'm arguing against myself. What side are you on?
Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's not my approach. I was thinking I would starfish. So I'd send all available boats. We'd all start in the middle and we'd all start going out.
In the middle of the Pacific Ocean?
Yeah, in like a starburst. And then we'd go as far as we needed to and then we would all kind of like twist a little bit and come back so that we were covering and then we just keep doing that to make like a daisy.
Mhm.
Um and then hopefully you find something.
You know what I would do? Keep the keys to my boat where my asshole little kid can't find them. Because what the fuck? That's a big deal. And I was comparing it. Everybody's like, oh, once in a while a kid steals a boat.
No.
At one point, Mitch is like, he knows his way around the boat. But like, what if they had stolen a car? I feel like we wouldn't be as chill if they had stolen a car.
No, it's not like it's a little fucking dinghy, like
No.
just a little outboard motor
Why
on
didn't
a
they just take the paddle boat that was attached to the back of the nice boat?
because I don't think that would get them all the way to the Channel Islands
Then they
probably.
shouldn't be going that far.
I know. I know. I don't this is my general take on this episode. Ugh, not another kids are in danger storyline.
Yes.
I don't want it. When I read that this was about pirates, I got
Hmm.
so excited and it
Yeah.
quickly is not about pirates.
Well, they are pirates.
Well, not the kind I'm was hoping for, I guess,
Yeah.
but then it's just mostly about kids and their
Could you give
safety.
me a soundbite of what kind of pirate you were hoping for?
Yeah, like a her wait.
Are you moities?
Wait. That's not right either.
Have you ever heard a pirate?
I know. Um, Shiver me timbers. Is that a
Better.
pirate?
Yes.
Okay. It's not a lumberjack? What's timbers? Anyway, yeah.
I don't, you know what I associate with timbers is a peg leg, and I guess
Oh,
that's an association I've made. I don't know if that's true. I don't
that's
know if
funny
he's
because
like,
it's
I guess
wood.
I've been picturing the pirates being like, my wooden leg is tingling every time they say that. I thought that's what they were trying to
Oh,
emote, but I realized
shiver
I
me
had never interrogated this preconceived notion before. It doesn't really hold up.
I think more of a splinter, but it sounds close to timber. And also, shiver me timbers. I
We're looking it up.
I hope it's someone's peg leg is hurting them. I hope it's that.
Phantom peg leg. That's a thing that could happen.
Oh yeah, you have phantom nerves and stuff if you
Yeah.
get amputated.
Shiver me timbers, or in standard English, shiver my timbers.
No, shiver
This
my timbers.
is Wikipedia says, is an exclamation in the form of a mock oath, usually attributed to the speech of pirates in works of fiction. It's a literary device to express shock, surprise, or annoyance. It's based on real nautical slang and is reference to the timbers, which are the wooden support frames of a sailing ship. In heavy seas, ships would be lifted up and pounded down so hard as to shiver the timbers, startling the sailors.
Oh, that's good.
Such an exclamation was meant to convey a feeling of fear and awe, similar to, "Well, blow me down." So now you know.
Okay, I like that a lot.
Now who's got facts?
I love it. Okay, so
Me and
timbers are
Wikipedia.
yeah, timbers are boat things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just was really bummed that it was a children's.
But you couldn't have been bummed right at the beginning because the
No.
beginning starts with 4 straight minutes after the after them running opening, then 4 more minutes of them still running, but in black bathing suits, and the men are wearing little ones,
Little black speedos.
little black speedos, and that goes it's just 4 minutes, they don't nothing occurs. There's no need, it's just 4 straight 4 minutes even of them running on the beach in slow motion after the opening.
It was first of all, I wanna call out real quick, the, like, kind of balding tall guy, that's Hoff's leg double, so he was featured.
You're kidding.
No, he's Hoff's leg double, and he sometimes does stunts, so just keep an eye out for him because he's
Whoa.
always bopping around, but he never has really, like, a speaking role, but
What was he
you see
doing?
him a lot. I don't know, he was just running. They were, like, exercising, I'm not quite sure. They did, like, sit-ups at one point in this montage,
Yeah, and they
but
were rowing.
I know, and then they were rowing, but then, like, the women didn't go.
But for what?
I don't know,
I
but
mean, the real answer is this episode was 4 minutes short. And they were like, those air times used to be serious. Now
Yeah,
you have Netflix. Now you're making episodes that are 40 minutes long, episodes that are 3 hours long. You can do anything you want. But back then, you kept it tight.
you're right. Also, did this episode establish the slow-mo running montage? Like, did it establish, like, just for fun, we're gonna have? Because has that happened yet? I don't
Okay,
think so.
what do you mean?
Like, I don't think anyone's run just for fun, like, on the show yet.
Al,
Oh, okay.
Al in the first episode running away.
Not
Hoff
slow
pulls up and
motion.
goes, "Yo, you want to ride?" Oh, that's right. That was
Not slow
in
motion and not,
regular
like, in a
motion.
sexy way. But you know what else
And
I
it was sexy.
realized? You know what else I realized? That, like, this show is equal opportunity for people who are attracted to men and people who are attracted to women. I
Yeah.
always thought of this show as, like, "Oh, they exploit the women, and it's just, like, boobies
Uh-uh.
and stuff." I'm I love it. I'm like, I
Horny.
love that they give equal billing time in this montage to both the men and the women. We're looking at
Yes.
thighs, we're looking at abs,
Yeah.
shoulders, but we're also
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
at boobies and crotch.
Yeah.
And it's just like, great. This must have been so gay, like so gay, so
Yeah.
great for queer kids in the 90s.
Well, yes.
In a way,
Unless you're into non-binary people and then get fucked. None of
oh,
them.
yeah,
None
we
of
don't
them
have
available.
yeah, we don't have any non-binary people in this show. But I feel like if you were in the closet as like a small queer child in the 90s, you could be like, "Oh, yay, like the boys are great," but then really you're watching the girls or vice versa. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
because everybody's naked all the time.
Ah, I see. So it's a good cover show. So you could like invite your beard over to watch it and
Yeah.
then yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, and maybe people had a sexual awakening to this that they weren't expecting.
Yeah. And also basically this is porn, right? Like back in the
Yeah.
90s, it was tough to get your hands on porn. So you had to make do with what was available.
Yeah, yeah, and this if your parents didn't have, like, HBO or, like, some sort of, I guess, paid what was it? Skinamax? Cinemax?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. If you didn't have that at your house, this is, like, the next spiciest thing before
Yeah.
the internet. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Um for no reason whatsoever. I had kind of a weird week, and that week manifested itself with yesterday between the VR. And the other thing that I managed to do was I watched American Pie.
Doesn't hold up.
It didn't not.
Oh.
It honestly wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I mean it's gross and it lacks nuance,
Yeah.
but
Fair.
for this aching 90s nostalgia that I simply cannot get rid of, like honestly, it held up.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. Does this sound too much like an endorsement? I didn't write it.
You can like things.
Good. I think I'm gonna watch them all because I've been planning an older movie. Like, okay, so I live in a condo building, and the condo building has a movie theater room downstairs, and
Ooh.
I've never used it despite living here for 3 going on 4 years. But I was thinking I should have a movie marathon, and, I was gonna do all the Chucky movies, but then I started listening to a podcast about them, and so
Mm.
there's, like I've watched the first 3, I think, and so I was like, "Okay, well, maybe I'll just pick up on 4." But 3 is it okay if I spoil Chucky? The Chucky,
I think it's yeah, what I think
universe?
it's okay at this point.
Okay, I won't spoil the show, which is currently on. I'll
Okay.
only spoil the movies. So, at the end of 3, I believe,
What's the
so,
title? Do you know?
Seed of Chucky
Oh, okay.
is either 3 or 4. Bride of Chucky is 3, I think.
Okay. I know that one.
The
I've
first
seen
one's
that one.
Child's Play, then Child's Play 2, then Bride of Chucky. So at the end of Bride of Chucky,
Yeah.
the doll, the girl doll Chucky version, um, gives birth,
Yeah.
doll birth.
Well,
And
because the dolls fuck in the movie.
yeah, because the dolls graphically fuck, and then the
Graphically.
doll gives birth, and that was I remember tapping out. I remember the exact moment being like, "No, no, thank you," and I didn't watch the rest of them, and then
Uh,
I was gonna pick that up and be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna plow through," but then I listened to a podcast about the 4th one, which I haven't seen, where they raise a human child,
okay.
um,
That's
and it's a mess. It's a real mess. And so I'm not gonna watch that, and so maybe I'll watch all the American Pie movies. There, I brought it back around.
okay, cool.
What
Is
I
it
won't do is
what?
try to become a better person. Not on the fucking weekend. Not when there's old movies that are only okay for me to rewatch.
Why do we have to spend every moment of our time trying to be a better person? Sometimes I just wanna be stagnant and live in the I'm gonna say, like, growth stuff I used to like. I just did a two-part marathon watching the movie Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2,
Oh.
and I
Oh,
will
wait, is that
say
the one with what's his name and then the lady, the Australian lady?
it is the one with I don't know who I don't know who you're referring to, but
With the
it's
guy?
an Adam Sandler movie. It
No.
has Salma Hayek in
Oh,
it.
that's not the one I'm thinking of.
Okay, I don't think so.
I'm thinking of the one that's something to do with neighbors, and maybe the kid who used to be in High School Musical is in it. He's an adult now.
Yeah, Good Neighbors, Bad Neighbors, something with Rose
Something like that.
Byrne, and is
Yes.
she Australian or British?
I know.
Yeah. She's married to, Bobby Cannavale, who is a very, very hot man, and good for
Oh.
her.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
You know
Um,
what, though? He probably still sucks.
no, I think he's good
Oh,
a good one.
okay.
I don't know. I mean,
I
I
hope
don't
he
know
is.
him, so
No,
he
I hope
could
I'm
be
wrong.
shitty.
It's
No,
just
but
don't covet other people's husbands because everybody's husband fucking sucks.
was I coveting? No, I just said he's really hot
Okay.
looking.
We
I
said
don't know
good for
anything
her,
about
but
him.
and then I immediately pictured her like wiping his piss off the front of the toilet for the thousandth time. And I was like, I'm not jealous.
Okay, first of all, they're famous and they pay someone to do that.
I
So
hope so.
that's how they can keep the love alive is neither one of them has to clean up after
Outsourcing.
the other. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Smart.
Um okay, but yeah, I was just going to say grown-ups good, grown-ups 2 bad. Grown-ups the
Oh.
first one still, there's a few things in there where you're like this joke wouldn't be written today. I don't like it. But all the rest of the jokes great. Fart jokes, some other funny things, so it was fun. Okay, back to this episode.
Yes. So, just picking up anywhere, 4-minute speedo montage. So then it is revealed that Shawnee has run Eddie's I can never remember why see this is the problem. You make me learn actors' real names, then I don't know whether I'm using their real name or their actor name.
Is her name no, Shawnee's the other blonde lady.
That can't be true. Unibrow is Shawnee.
Really?
I
What's
think
the
that
other
the
one's
other one's
name?
real name is Sean,
Weatherly or
and then
something.
Shawnee is the one whose adult photos we looked at.
Right,
Oh, that hasn't happened
Erica.
yet? That hasn't happened yet, has it?
Oh, oh,
Fuck.
oh, fuck.
So,
That's okay.
Shawnee Shawnee is the unibrow
Okay,
blonde,
okay,
but
okay.
the other blonde woman who works there, her real name is Shawn.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. So Shawnee and
Eddie?
Eddie.
Okay.
So Shawnee, it opens with Shawnee has driven over his foot with a truck.
Why is there a hole in it?
It's bleeding on the top. maybe where his shoe got in? Or no, maybe he's wearing flip-flops because he's not wearing shoes. Anyway, and then she's, like, bandaging it up, and everybody's acting like they're petty squabbles, but if you ran over my fucking foot with a truck, I would be mad.
Oh, also, hi, where's HR and why isn't there being paperwork filed immediately? This is a workman's comp situation.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, sorry, you guys get along better."
Yeah. Hey, you know what I'm gonna make you do, after getting your foot run over by a truck this morning? I'm gonna make you work 24 hours. And I have only questions about the 24-hour shift. Is this part of their regular schedule? Are
Mm.
people regularly doing 24-hour shifts? Has any lifeguard ever done a 24-hour shift? Why would that be part of the job? They're not fire people, and fire people are sleeping for some of their shift if there is no fire.
Right, they're not patrolling, they're, like,
Yeah.
making dinner and hanging watching TV in a lazy
Yeah.
boy. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I didn't even I don't know. I didn't even clock that as that weird just because I was like, "Oh, I
What?
guess" well, I was like, "I guess people have to make sure no one's doing fuck shit out on the beach."
Yeah, but in 8-hour increments.
Right, right. Yeah, I don't know, that's weird. Maybe it's not a normal thing and it was just kind of a, "I'm your elder, I'm in charge, I'm gonna make you do this thing."
That's so crazy, though.
Yeah. Hmm. I don't
Yeah,
know, but we're definitely obviously setting up some sort of romance.
I guess, but they don't get to it. They don't get to it in short order.
No, no, no. But there was that montage where they're like, she's looking at him and then she teases it, with the keys.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna grab a screenshot of this because
Okay.
so there's a couple of things that I enjoyed here. So she,
Yeah.
after running over his foot, they get into a squabble about who's gonna drive, and she is not apologetic about running over his foot at
No, she's
all.
like, walk it off.
Yeah, she literally makes him walk.
Yeah.
Okay, she gets in the car, and I will say this is a cheat because I found this piece of trivia on IMDb. But when she gets in the truck, she's wearing shorts.
Hmm.
But when she gets out of the truck, she ain't wearing no shorts. Okay, she is wearing her personalized cut. She chose this bathing suit.
Yep.
It has the leg cut up to like the bottom of her ribs, and they then show that when she's dangling the keys and stuff, it's shot past her butt. So in the right-hand corner, it's just, like, her butt. Are you fucking kidding me right now?
I
Why are
didn't
you
even
looking at me like
notice
you
that.
didn't clock
I,
this?
I,
It goes
d-
back to it twice where you're desensitized with how much we exploit women.
I
That's my
guess.
take.
Yeah.
The whole, like, right third of the screen is her ass cheek. It's shot from, like, down by her ass, and he's slightly out of focus, and somehow the keys are in the frame, but when it shoots back, the keys are she's holding the keys up here and her butt is down here, so
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. So the lengths they went to shoot that past her butt cheek was commendable.
It's like I just recently noticed how in chip commercials people eat chips up here. Like, watch next time you see people in a Doritos, they're holding the bag of chips like up here and they'll like
Oh.
stick their hand in
Oh,
and eat it.
yes.
And it's like no one eats chips like that. Not a
Yeah.
single person on this fucking planet.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't notice that. But okay, I'll tell you what my thought process was during that scene because I was like, "Oh, okay, they're setting something up." It's we already got a foreshadowing when Hoff was like, "I don't know what it is between the two of you." It's
And
the
I
sexual
would like to
tension.
of course, it's a sexual tension.
Yeah,
What does he mean he doesn't know?
I know. I
Hoff
know.
looks like a man who's been with a lady before. I was like, "Why would he not recognize the chemistry
What's
between
happening?
these 2 young people?" Like,
Yeah.
are you dumb?
These two young hot people who
Yeah,
are like naked together all the time
all
and
the
wet.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. But during that scene, I was like, okay, this is it. Because they got like a few close-ups of her making eyes at him, kind of like she's
Mhm.
watching him do his job. And you could tell she's like, oh, that's hot. Do I think that's hot? I think that's hot. I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna flirt with him with the
But I
keys.
thought she already openly had a crush on him from the first day.
Oh, you're right, she did. But then she acts annoyed at him, so I think we were like forgot about it or something.
Okay.
And then maybe they just haven't been together in, like, scenes as much, but then after like, during that when it was cutting to him, I didn't notice her butt because I was looking at his face to see what's he thinking. He's
Oh.
clueless.
Oh,
So I think it is she's still kind of chasing him.
I see.
Yeah. Um, That's wild. Now I'm sad I missed the butts.
I'm gonna screenshot it so you won't have
Great.
to.
Good.
You'll get to
Thank
see it.
God.
It's a
I'll
lovely
have it
butt.
forever in
Yeah.
perpetuity. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay, so that we've established that plot line, and then the other thing that's happening is that Mitch and oh, I know it's not Wendy.
I know that's her real name. And we
Mitch and ex-wife, are figuring out their custody situation because Wendy Malick has to move to like Ohio or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yes.
they are having a mediated conversation with both their lawyers. And this conversation is taking place, guess,
I
at the Baywatch office.
This doesn't happen, right? Like in real life? You would
No.
go to a lawyer's office
Of course you would go to a lawyer's
and you'd
office.
get free bottled water and like snacks, hopefully.
Hopefully, but Craig doesn't have an office, and I
I
guess no
know.
one thought to ask the other lawyer.
Ugh. Okay, but I love me some lawyer Craig.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I just go, okay.
Hey
I
man,
li-
he's got it.
he's got it. He comes in with a fucking briefcase in his full lifeguard outfit. I don't think there's a I can't remember if this is later in the episode or this part specifically where he just has a windbreaker over his
Yeah.
naked chest, but
Yeah.
also he has a briefcase. It's delightful. It is so soap opera, like hand him a prop and now he's a lawyer. And
Yes.
I love it. It's delightful.
The way they combine bathing suits and coats in this show has changed my life.
Yeah.
It's just an option I never even considered.
I can't wait until we get Baywatchers
Yeah.
windbreaker
They're gonna be
coats, like with
amazing.
Baywatchers on the back and
Of
then our
course.
names embroidered in the front.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, I will know that we have made it.
Yeah. And you, the fans, can make that dream a reality by donating to our Patreon. We haven't set it up yet, but Nicole
But
will
when we
drop it
do,
here
yeah,
at a later date.
yeah, or it'll be in the notes of this. So just know
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Or we can record my mouth moving and you can just edit it in later.
I
I'll
love
do it
it.
like this.
Yeah, I'll just talk over you.
There you go. You've got it.
Great. Excellent. My guess is it's going to be patreon.com/Baywatchers. So
I hope we can get it. There could very well be people out there
true.
watching those bays,
That's you. You're right.
pulling
You're
their
right. You're
donations
right.
together.
Yep.
Nobody take that. We need it.
Oh my
Um
goodness.
okay, so plot B starts with these guys figuring out their divorce. We never meet the other lawyer. The other lawyer doesn't exist. Let's be
Yeah,
real.
yeah.
Craig's the only lawyer in LA.
Yeah.
And the children have stolen this boat and they go off to this island. And one thing that I enjoyed was these kids are paying attention because they get to this island, they don't anchor their very expensive boat, they go off to fuck around, and they well, first they discover a dead body in a cave that they fall into, but then they walk up to a full pirate camp.
Yeah.
This camp has a fire, cots, food, bedrolls, clothes. This is fully, clearly like a living room placed in the middle of an island. And
Yep.
they go, somebody's been here. And I just thought, these kids have learned how to track people because they could tell someone was here just by the giant pile of people's stuff.
What I don't Hobie is either scene to scene, okay? Hobie is either a very emotionally intelligent, very smart young man or
Yeah.
the dumbest kid with like a head full of bricks. It's
Yeah.
like, what is happening? Like, what is he? Who is he? I can't tell scene to scene what like how I'm supposed to categorize him. Cause you just found a dead body.
Yeah.
Don't fuck around in this
Don't fuck
camp.
around. They're
What
taking things.
they're taking things, they're touching things, they're making sound, they're talking to each other. It's like, no, this is red alert. You just saw a dead body. Do you
Yeah.
think these are related? Because they probably are.
Yeah, they should have gone right back to their boat at that moment because I think this is before they realized it was gone and like
Mm,
maybe they still could have gotten it.
yeah. Yeah, it
Also,
probably
would a
hadn't
boat
floated
wash
very far.
out to shore? Wouldn't it get pushed up onto the beach? I don't know.
Oh, no, I just think it depends on where the current is and whatnot. But also, it turns out they did anchor it. We find out that they anchored it later, but they
But
didn't anchor it correctly.
it said it didn't set, and I don't know what that means.
When you anchor a boat, it has to land so that it clips
It
into
grabs
the
onto something,
ground.
right?
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah,
so
yeah,
if you
yeah.
don't do it right, it'll just sit on the bottom and then it's useless.
But wouldn't it, as it was floating away, have maybe still grabbed onto something?
Maybe. It might or it might not if it wasn't low enough, like, if they didn't do it low enough, or if it was loose or something, like, there's ways it could just get out.
I don't know, man. They were in a cove. They brought the boat all the way up to the beach. They
Yeah.
must have. It seemed convenient. Anyway, the reason you find everything Hobie says inconsistent is because Hobie is there to deliver whatever information we need to hear.
Yeah, yeah,
That's his main priority. And that's not his fault. That's the writing.
yeah, you're right, you're right. Oh, yeah. I just I don't know. It wasn't I don't know. This episode with I think it's just because it's so kid focused, I just kind of wrote it
Yeah.
off, and
You
so
you're
I was
always
like
saying you hate kids.
yeah, and so everything was, like, working against me, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like everything was like, I already don't like it."
Wait, also, Hobie has a new friend because it's Hobie, the girl that he's crushing on, who is phenomenal,
Yeah,
and then this new kid that I don't think we've ever seen before, and couldn't get a name for him, even
Clark.
if Clark.
Yeah.
Oh, I looked it up and everything.
Oh my god, because they're like, "Should we wake up Clark?" And he goes,
Oh
"No,
my
let him sleep."
god,
And I go in all caps, "Wake
why?
up Clark. What
Yeah, why?
do not let this boy sleep."
Why? Why? Were they taking shifts, sleeping?
I think they were taking shifts, yeah.
But like, okay, they have this fire, and then the pirates come and are right next to them,
I know.
and the fire, and he puts the fire out. So again, Hobie, he's got it together. He figures it
Yeah,
out in that moment. But like,
yeah.
they're right there.
I know. No,
Do
that's
you think they
it's
would have seen the fire? It's nighttime. Fire gives off light.
yeah, and they're right there. And
They're
also
right
it
there,
smells like a fire,
like
and
a
there's
fire.
nothing around, so it's gonna be the only smell that
And
they
there's
smell,
crackling. And
and
there's
it's crackling.
kids.
And they don't have a
And
fire.
the crush girl and Hobie almost kiss.
I hated that, first of all. This is one of my pet peeves in movies
Why?
is whenever there's a moment where, like, the usually the female character is, like, sad or scared,
Yeah.
somehow that turns into, like,
Yeah.
maybe I can make it better by, like, trying to make a move on you, and
Right.
that's never what is wanted.
Okay, so I think that men think that fear makes women horny
Interesting.
when it is quite literally the opposite. Like they've done studies that show that like women's desire to procreate or just get it on.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm trying to be sciencey
Do
about it.
it.
Women don't want to fuck when they're stressed out.
No.
And, so I always find that funny because I also don't wanna fuck when I'm dirty and gross, like, physically
No.
dirty, but you always see in, like, zombie movies or post-apocalyptic movies and stuff when it's like, "Oh, we're safe. Let's fuck." And I'm like, "There's nothing further from my fucking mind."
Nothing. You were just scared a moment ago,
Yeah.
like, that you were gonna be eaten alive and you're barely safe and now you wanna do it? Like, no.
No. I have
And
never.
it's so annoying, and it must be that yeah, this is like a trope that, like, movies and TV have kind of kept up,
Yeah.
but, yeah, it just, like, bums me out. I wonder too, to your point, like, if men think it's, like, fear or if there's some sort of, "Oh, I'm sensing, like, a vulnerability," and they
Ugh.
misread that for, like, intimacy, like, "Oh, she's showing me who she is. I'm gonna show her who I am," or like,
With
I
my
don't know.
dick. Yeah.
I hate it. So yeah, I just hated that scene. And like also they're little kids and it's like we don't need them to be falling in love. Like we
How old are
just
they,
don't.
12?
I can't well, they're either 12 or 13. We keep bouncing back and forth.
Yeah.
Which by the way, okay, I looked this up cuz I had to. Cuz I know that she says her dad told her to fill up the boat. That's like why she
Fill
steals
up
it.
the boat.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, my dad, we're going to go fishing tomorrow. He said I could fill up the boat with gas."
Oh, it's not a good chore for a child.
Right? And especially if she's 12 or 13, because in the state of California, you have to be at least 16 to operate a boat.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
That goes
interesting.
over a certain like 40
Oh, a
knots or
boat like
something.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, a
that's a
power
good
boat.
point. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like you could drive a little Boston Whaler outboard thing, but like, what the hell? So I was like, that dad, that's a bad dad.
Yeah.
That's not a good parent being like, here, honey, take the. He must be just like so rich. He doesn't care.
What do you wanna call our boat, the boat that we buy with all of our Baywatchers money? Baywatching, I guess?
No, I wanna call it, anchovy.
Virgin converter?
No, I wanna call it the same boat that they had called it
Oh,
anchovy.
it was called anchovy like the fish?
Yeah, like an ant though, "Oh, I'm your anchovy."
That's not a good boat name at all.
I well, it's not, because it is, like, kind of a pun. Like, it's a double entendre type pun type
Uh-huh.
thing, and I feel like most
Yeah,
boats are
yeah, no, I
called
like a
that.
boat pun,
Yeah.
but it's supposed to be sexy and powerful or smug.
Smug. Yeah,
I love a
yeah,
smug boat.
yeah, like divorce present or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'd call ours virgin converter. We wouldn't wanna call it shark bait or whatever.
No, we should get
That's
2
a
boats so we can race them. So
oh,
I'll take Virgin Converter. You can name your own boat. You can call it Anchovy if you want to.
okay.
It is you.
It would be anchovy too, because there's
Yes.
already an anchovy one.
Yeah. Yeah. But that boat might not really exist.
Oh, true. Yeah, it might not even be licensed. You know what's really fun? Okay, next time you're here, we should rent a little Duffy boat, like those little electric kind of like jungle cruise
Okay.
boats. And
Yes.
then we could and then let's do research. We'll go down to Newport Beach like
You're
in
losing
there.
me on the research.
What?
You're losing
Well,
me on the
this is how
research.
you can write it off.
Okay, okay.
It's gonna but the research is we just rent one of those and we like get a charcuterie board and wine and we just drive through the bay and we write down all of our favorite names that people have named their
That's
boats.
such a good idea.
But it's research.
I'm so available for this.
Okay, good.
Good. Excited.
Okay. Also, here's a note. Why don't we call people bucko anymore?
I don't know.
Can we? All right,
Can
bucko.
we? Bucko. I
Is
don't
it
know. I
rude?
don't know. It's not into me. The
It's
hard
dated.
sound is just not what's up for me.
Okay, it's also dated, so
Yeah.
I just wonder why we stopped doing that. Maybe because it doesn't sound good. It's
We
too
get
hard.
new things to call people. Now
Yeah.
people are cap. I don't know why you're laughing. I think I used that accurately.
No.
No, they are no cap.
When you say something's cap, it's like a lie. And when you say no cap, you're being serious, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
I
I
feel
was trying
old.
to say it as if it was a slanderous, mean thing. Oh, maybe bucko isn't. Yeah, bucko is like you
It's rude.
little scallywag.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh,
calling someone a liar, a dishonest person, fit. That's how I intended to use it.
oh, okay. I didn't know you called people cap. I thought you would say their actions were cap or no cap.
Can you call people? I just
Oh no.
here's the thing is I'm so far into like trying to learn slang that I might be learning it. Like I never know if what I'm hearing is ironic or unironic.
Oh, there's no difference. That's the thing, right?
So you can be capping.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're capping.
Here's an
But you're
example.
not a cap. Like you're not
Listen,
cap.
listen.
Yeah.
Here's an example on this website.
Careful.
On this
Careful.
website that is definitely for parents to translate
Oh, that's
slang.
what I'm saying. Careful. Careful. This
And one
is
of the
not a
examples
source you wanna
is,
get it from.
did you see Andrew's post? He thinks he's the main character. Ugh, what a capper.
No, no one says that. No kids say that.
But you do believe they say you cap in. The next thing
I
down
believe
says,
that more
how how
I've
do
what?
how the next paragraph says, how to identify if your child is using the cap slang word.
They
So maybe this isn't a good source.
That's what I'm telling you. Oh my god. All
It
I know is I've heard kids say cap and no cap.
Ooh,
And
it says it was originally a term meaning shooting a gun with blanks.
oh, because you're like faking someone out.
I guess.
Ooh, interesting. Kids are smart. Kids are creative.
Yep.
Their brains aren't fully formed, so
USA Today also says that someone can be cap-in.
again, USA Today says that.
Where do you want me to go? Where do
To
you
the
think
children.
I don't have one here.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Listeners, how do you use the word cap?
You
Let
don't.
us know.
No
Write
one
in.
does. We
Not
shouldn't.
our
We
listeners.
shan't.
Not unless there's a really young person watching this really ironically.
In which case, again, I'm gonna say there's no difference. You're watching it. Ironically or not,
Yeah.
you're watching it.
Yeah, we don't care how you
Be
engage with this content,
I don't care.
but
I
have
I
safe
hope everyone
sex
hate watches it.
and
Yeah,
do
have safe sex,
drugs
yeah.
responsibly
Yeah. Yeah.
at an appropriate level for your age.
And be kind to each other.
Save hard drugs for adulthood.
When you can
You know what the
afford the
stakes
better
are
ones.
then. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I say, speaking of drugs and, like, these burner, like,
Pirates?
pirates,
Yeah.
I do really appreciate that all of the criminals on this show to date have been, like, stereotypical, like, stoner surf
Yeah.
dudes. Find that very delightful, and I hope at some point, I hope they kind of, "Okay, let's get, like, a bad rich person or something in here, like, let's change
Mm.
it up a little bit," but also,
Mhm.
I am enjoying it for now because you immediately know, "Oh, they're bad.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's
this looks like a surfer dude who's, like, we should be wearing, like, one of those surf ponchos and, like, no shoes and whatever," and you're
yeah.
like, "Oh, okay, they're a bad guy,
Yeah,
yeah."
the guy with the feathered hair, but still somehow a ponytail.
Both? Yeah,
Yeah.
he has both.
I did have a lot of questions about the pirates. Pretty much questions top to bottom.
Yeah.
What's going on with them? Because why do they have to stay on this island?
'Cause I think it's a way for them to get this is my thing, that's like their lair, like their
Okay.
bad guy lair, and since they are pirating and they're getting people on their boats without being seen, that's the best place to be. You don't wanna go all the way inland.
Okay, then let me run a couple of follow-up questions by you.
Okay.
1, why don't they get a tent? If this
Yeah.
is their home base, this is the island where they're doing all of their crimes. Put up a lean-to.
Do you think this
Why are you
none of
sleeping hard
Yeah, yeah.
more than one night in a row?
Do you think none of this was premeditated? Do you think they made their first, pirate
Like it was a spur of the moment? Okay,
like, they
question
made
2
their
then.
first pirate attack, and then they were like, "Wait, we like this," and now it's like a kind of a serial killer getting a taste for blood.
Okay,
Where do you think they go to the bathroom?
same place they sleep, I think. Just there because they haven't done any setup.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let me run this by you.
Okay.
This is just a hypothetical. You have murdered some rich people and taken their boat.
Of
I
course,
guess
yeah.
you already sold the boat, right? Because the boat's not tethered to that island somewhere. They're not
Sold it
hiding
or
the boat.
just let it go?
No, they're selling. That's the purpose. They're not just murderers. They're so this is
Oh.
he says, "We got a buyer lined up," and then the rich woman's like, "What do you mean a buyer? You're also taking the boat?"
Okay.
And so they're selling these boats.
Yeah.
So, here's my question. You're flush with cash because you just sold a yacht.
Yeah.
You go back to the island where you keep all the dead bodies. That's where you wanna be found? Let me tell you, when I've murdered someone and their dead body and he says, "We should put these ones with the rest of the bodies." Oh, way up there? So they've littered this island with bodies in shallow, sandy graves.
Oh
You
my
know where I'm
god.
not hanging out? That fucking island.
Yeah.
Because the cops have got nothing on me, but if they find me with all these corpses and my pile of DNA-laced excrement in the bushes, I'm going down. Like, I'm gonna be held accountable for this. So it just go to at least the next island over. Like, I just don't understand why they are living the way they're living.
Ugh,
Take the money from the sale of the yacht and get a fucking hotel room.
I know. Also, I think this we're supposed to think maybe that this island is, like, no one's ever on it, but I thought you could, like, camp on the Channel Islands and stuff.
I
Like,
don't
it
know. I don't know where this is taking place.
okay. Yeah.
Are they near
They're like little islands off the coast,
like where Catalina is?
I think north of there, but and, like, you there's camping, but there's no, like, setups or anything, it's just, like, kind of rough
Like backwoods
camp
camping?
yeah, like how these guys are camping, except
Oh.
they have a coffee can full of very expensive jewelry.
Is that okay, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
why are you keeping the jewelry like, again, just
Go to a pawn shop
yeah.
immediately, so why are you holding on to that stuff?
But why don't you have a tent?
I know. Yeah, and I
Or be
guess they
sleeping
have
on these beautiful yachts. Keep one of
right,
them. Like,
yeah.
there's just feels like there was so many solutions and they didn't make use of any of them, and I was just like, "These pirates need to get their game together."
Yeah, they're not good pirates.
Mm-mm.
I guess I guess they're just getting rid of the boats immediately because that's, like, what they're doing is they're just stealing these boats and selling them to the
They're
buyers.
taking somewhere to sell them, then they're
Yeah.
going back to the island where they murdered all the people
I
and
know,
buried
to
them to
Murder
sleep.
Island. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
first of all, I don't know how to dispose a body that well, but
Yeah.
putting it in the ocean is definitely a great option.
Yeah, why aren't they throwing any of these people over
Yeah,
in the middle
it's
of the
harder
Pacific
not
Ocean?
to.
Instead, they're like, "Let's find a cave we barely fit into at the
Yeah,
top of this mountain on this island
they
and put it in there."
they take them to the cave. Then when they're burying them, they have them wrapped in tarps so
Yeah,
they won't biodegrade, so it keeps all that so the animals can't get to it. Like they're going out of their way to preserve evidence and I'm just
they're not
beyond
smart.
the hair, I'm the most disappointed in their poor crimesmanship.
I I mean, cut to the fucking chase scene at the end. Everything
Yeah.
about this was dumb, and I
Yes.
feel like we're supposed to be okay, this is, like, going back to my initial kind of, like, thoughts on this episode. Everything feels like, "Oh, it's supposed to be higher stakes," and, "Oh, this is scarier," and it's like, "No, this isn't scarier, it's dumb," and
Yeah.
just because 'cause you've edited it together doesn't mean
Yeah.
that this makes sense. This is the first episode maybe for me where or I also didn't like the second episode, I guess.
Yeah. This one
I
was worse.
it's the crime ones that are I don't love.
Mm.
I wonder what that is.
Well, here's what I didn't like in that chase scene I was so mad because they're like, okay, so at the point we're describing, the kids have gotten the pirates dinghy. So they've got a boat and they're on the water,
Yeah.
but it's like a rowboat.
Yeah.
The pirates have a speedboat, a piece of shit too. So again, guys, invest in your infrastructure. But okay. And then Hoff and Ellerby are in a helicopter.
Yeah.
And so the pirates are chasing the kids and they've got a gun. And then the helicopter sees them. And the pirates don't immediately just give up their chase. But
Right.
like, okay, so what have you done that's illegal right now? So first of all, you're dangerously close to where you have so many bodies and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
of their
yeah.
jewelry stashed
Right.
openly on your death island.
Had all
So
of their jewelry, but the little girl took it.
yeah, but probably they've got more because she only took that one coffee can, and it seemed like they didn't have a good organizational system
Yeah,
going.
true.
So like you're bringing all these people right back to the scene of the crimes, but from the helicopter's point of view, what have you done that's illegal at this point? You're just some guys in a boat. You just turn your boat and leave. The
Yeah.
helicopter doesn't want you. They're clearly looking for the kids. And then the worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to rescue those kids. Those kids are going to be like, "We were on this island and there were two scary guys there." Maybe no one believes them. Who knows what? Who knows what happens?
Yeah.
But when you get out a gun and start shooting at the kids in front of the police helicopter, now you have committed a very obvious crime immediately in front of everyone. Now
Yeah.
you've just raised the stakes so fucking high. And do you really think you're getting away from a helicopter?
When they were shooting at the helicopter, I was cackling so hard because 'cause I'm just like, "You don't win in the
No.
you don't win here."
But they could have just acted like they were two dudes out there boating and they wouldn't have even been tied to this crime until after the helicopter had gotten the kids and they could have gotten away by then. It was really, really dumb.
It was so dumb. Yeah. I This episode was hard to watch.
Yeah.
Also, I was thinking, oh my god, wait, but wait, we have to talk about the fucking Home Alone log.
Yes.
That was maybe my favorite part of this
It
entire
was
episode.
okay.
There's a moment where this is before all of this happens. I just remembered this, and the kids are trying to get away. They've finally been found because they try and throw that message in a bottle, and it smacks onto the rocks and shatters, and they're like, "Oh god, there's kids here." They get chased up a hill,
Yes.
and they pull a Kevin McAllister. They get a log, these 3 kids, and they wait until the guys get close enough, and then they push the log off of the fucking rocks, off the cliff, and it hits the 2 men, and I laughed so hard and was so delighted, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Is this the precursor to Home Alone, or was it happening at the same time?"
What year did Home Alone come out in?
Oh my god, let me look. What year did Home Alone come out? 1990.
Whoa.
Whoa. They were already making it, I guess, when they were making the
Yeah, so
show,
you think
probably
they
so.
saw this and got that idea?
Synchronicity. I get maybe. I just thought, what if someone saw this episode of Baywatch and was like, "This gives me an idea for a
Mhm.
holiday movie."
Mhm.
And then they
Mhm.
wrote it and it's the best holiday movie to ever be
Yeah.
made. Wow. But yeah, I was cackling when they were shooting at the
I
helicopter
I
and
lost my shit when that kid threw the so the kids
when the kid threw the
the kids,
message.
they find a scrap of paper.
Yeah,
They
yeah, yeah.
use the little girl's lipstick, which I guess she had in her pocket because the only one kid has a backpack in this whole thing. They have no supplies. The little kid, they use her lipstick. They write on this piece of paper that they're stuck on this island. They
Yeah.
roll it up carefully. They dump out a bottle of soda. They put it in the soda. They're so ready. They're gonna throw the. This episode is called "Message in a Bottle."
Yeah. And
So
we got
this
one.
is the moment. This is
Yes,
the moment we've been
yes.
waiting for. This is what it's all building to. And I genuinely thought they were gonna throw that bottle out in the water, and somehow it was gonna go to
Same.
Hoff. Hoff was gonna scoop it out of the ocean and be like, "Oh my god!" And then he was gonna go into action to rescue his kid. That was the expectation I had, and that's on me. But instead, what happens is the kid goes, "No, let me throw it. I have a better arm," and then he throws it immediately into a rock. They're not even close to the
They're n
water.
not even
They're
close.
like 200 feet from the water.
Yeah, they're like a good half mile from the water.
And he whips it at a rock seemingly right above the pirate's head. And they're like, hey, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Kids, what the fuck?
Again, are these kids smart or dumb? I can't tell. Sometimes they're smart with the log, other times they're dumb with the bottle.
Is that being a kid? You're just like, sometimes you're smart and sometimes you're not. And you just
Yeah.
hopefully as an adult, you get more consistent smarts and less consistent dumbs.
Yeah, I guess it's like your ideas aren't great yet. I mean, your brain's not fully formed,
I didn't
so
think the
we'll
log
give them
idea
some
was that good
slack.
either, to be honest, Nicole. I think they should have just hidden because it was a giant fucking island. Every time, let me tell you, I don't spend a lot of time in the wilderness, and that's on purpose because I don't
Yeah,
have to,
same.
because I can afford not to.
Yeah.
But I always just think in the wild, just go like under any tree or just stay still. Nobody's gonna
Yeah.
fucking find you in a goddamn forest. Instead, they're right next to like a wood chip lined path with a single scrawny bush partially obscuring them a
I
little
know.
bit.
I think we're supposed to believe it's like the face of kind of like a mountain or like a hill or something, and it's like they had
That was
nowhere to
the only
hide
way to go? Okay,
because they climbed it.
I hope so because I also thought climbing is pretty dumb because
It
now everyone
was.
can see you because you're above the tree line.
Yeah, it was dumb, and also the girl was struggling. She's like, "Help me, Hobie, help me,"
She
or whatever.
only
It's like,
wants Hobie's help.
I know, but she did it earlier. She
Yeah,
did
it
that
was like
exact they were in the exact same spot.
yeah, she was me tipping the sea-doo, being like, "Oh no, I'm in danger, Hobie, help me." Never forget that this is the same woman in the first episode. This child, actually, she's not a woman. This child is the same child who in the first episode asks Hobie to put suntan oil on her.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, it's gotta be, right? How many crushes do you think he has? It's gotta
I
be
don't
her.
think I
So she
don't think
clearly has a
he
crush on him.
yeah, but I don't think he had a crush. I thought it was like a more of like a fancy little lady.
I
And
don't
she's like
think
the nerd.
12-year-olds come in fancy. You think this is a different girl who also has a crush on Hobie?
Oh, yeah, I don't know, man. Now I wanna look.
Well,
But
I don't know
I
if
I
oh,
feel
yeah,
like
we
they
did
don't
see her.
I feel like there's a little thing she's a fellow junior lifeguard, I think
Mhm,
we've seen, and
mhm.
also they called her, like, nerd they're like, "Oh, your nerdy girlfriend." Clark said, "Oh, your nerdy girlfriend."
Oh, I didn't remember I didn't catch that.
Oh, yeah, yeah, it was in the beginning of this
Mhm.
episode, and I was, like, rude, but also I was like, "Oh, okay, they're doing it like Hobie doesn't like her or
So,
whatever."
in your words, you're saying there's a hotter tween girl on this show?
I thought well, I thought it was like just a different group of people, and it was, like, maybe more like beachgoers and less also involved with lifeguard stuff. Like, I it felt like it was more like school friends and not
Oh,
lifeguard friends, do you know what I
yeah,
mean? But I
yeah,
could be wrong.
yeah.
Um, can we talk about the sound the guns made?
Okay.
Were what it felt dumb.
I
It
don't
didn't
know.
feel Oh,
I was
okay.
so upset about them shooting at all that I
I
didn't
know.
clock the sound.
It just sounded like the equivalent of someone going, "Bang, bang." It didn't sound like there was no, like, C sound or something, and the guns just sounded very weird to me and
Yeah.
very, like, play gun sounding or
Well,
something.
I live in Canada, so I'm probably not as familiar with the sound of gunfire as you are.
Have you ever shot a gun?
No.
Oh, okay.
Have you?
Yeah.
Why?
My dad used to take us to the shooting range when we were kids.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a gun for Christmas
No,
once.
you didn't.
Yeah.
Girl, you're from California.
I know.
I didn't know that was one of the gunnier states.
Oh, well, to be fair, I grew up in the mountains of California, so it's like a different vibe up
Oh,
there.
yeah, yeah, I've
Yeah.
been up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, guns I don't know, it just sounded like it kind of sounded like this is weird, but this is what I thought of. At the end of the ride Pirates of the Caribbean,
Uh-huh.
when they're all drunk and they're shooting guns back and forth at each
Yes.
other, that's what it sounded like. There was, like, a weird sound to it, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Is that on purpose? Did they use that as, like, an Easter egg in this
No, I
episode
think
because
they
it's
did their
pirate
damn
theme?"
best. I think they did their goddamn best, Nicole.
Oh my god.
They've got one set piece. They've got 3 months to use the beach to film 22 episodes, and they're doing their best.
And their best is very good generally,
So
and
good.
I was wondering if the magic has worn off for me because
Well,
I
this
just
is
didn't
gonna
think
be a
this episode was.
long 15 years of podcasting then, because 'cause we've got a lot to get through.
I still thought this episode was fun. I liked it was still listen, if Baywatch is nothing, it's horny, and,
Yeah.
we still had that with that couple that was kind of like
Oh, yeah,
how
we didn't even talk about them at all.
how old were they?
I don't know.
They were like they felt like teens with how naive and, like,
Yeah.
kind of, like, weird their
But this
dialogue
was
was.
clearly oh, what do they
Like
call it? Coastal elite take on the flyover
Midwest.
states on the Midwest. Yeah, because they were
Yes.
just treating them like dummies who had never been to a city or California before. And
And
so
they were
and they
because they
were.
got
Yeah.
got robbed and were didn't know anything and couldn't do anything.
Yeah. So they that they're it's so why are they in this episode at all? Why is this part of anything that we're doing? Because this happens on the 24-hour shift when anything could have happened. That
It's the
they set up
mapping.
so much potential.
It's the foreshadowing because 'cause they're, like, in love. It gives
But it
her the
wasn't
opportunity.
good.
I know, but it gives her the opportunity to be like, "Oh, don't you just wanna be in love sometimes?" or whatever.
Because no, the thing that they're reacting to is they pull up in the truck at the end of the day or night, I'm not sure, the end of the 24-hour period. They get
Yeah.
back to the station. They're too tired. They should not be driving, even
Yeah.
awake for 40 hours because they were already awake before they found out they had to work for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And so they have been driving around and they basically they found this couple sleeping on the beach. I thought these couples were going to be scammers or something
Mm-mm.
because they're like, "We got robbed and we don't know what's going on." And I was like, "Why is this the what's your next step of your plan?" Because
Yeah.
they got robbed. Apparently they did go to the police. They told the police. The police were like, haha, you should have gotten traveler checks. Good luck out there. And just set them loose. And they had no money, no ID, nothing. And so they go and sleep under a lifeguard tower on the beach. And our lifeguards find them and are like, and first of all, I thought they were fucking.
Me too.
And they're both fully clothed. That was
Yeah.
disappointing. Clothed. That's
They could have been
disappointing.
doing hand stuff.
But it didn't seem like they were.
I know. No, they were, like, very, churchy or something. Like, it
Yes.
felt like they're like, "We would never do that."
No, they would not.
Yeah.
And their parents didn't approve of them being there, which is why the age question comes up, but they looked 35. And and so Eddie and Shawnee decide what the only reasonable thing to do is to take them with them. But then it shows that the cab of their truck is a two-seater when they pull in and they get out of the truck and they go around to the bed of the truck where this couple is laying on, like they've made them a little travel bed in the back of the truck. And the couple's all snuggled up. So first of all, they were sleeping while being driven around in the open back part of a truck, in the bed of a truck,
Yeah.
and they don't stop sleeping. They like whisper when they get out of the truck to be like, "Don't wake the sleeping people who are in the open bed of the truck." There's no way they
How did
didn't
they fall
already wake up.
asleep?
If they
Yeah.
slept through you driving them around in the back of a truck
Like,
on the beach.
just oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, on the
Yes.
beach too. It's, like, not like a flat road where they're just, like, really quiet and cruising. They're driving through and on the beach in Southern California
In
where
broad
there's tons
daylight.
of traffic all the time.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And so and then that's when she's like, "Oh my god, they're so cute." And you think that's the foreshadowing of their relationship?
I think it's the foreshadowing for yeah, I feel like we're gonna get I think it'll be not like a Ross and Rachel thing, but I think it'll be kind of like a drawn out, are they gonna get together? Because 'Cause they're also
No,
not
I
main
know.
characters, so,
Ugh.
like, we don't care that much, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I think it'll be a theme for a while.
I agree, but it's just such an insane plot point to be like,
Yeah,
okay, guys, we're in the writer's room. We got to figure out how we're going to foreshadow that Eddie and Shawnee should get together. We
yeah,
can't just do it because they're young and hot and they spend every day together and she's already expressed that she has a crush on him.
yeah.
No, we're going to need some Midwesterners.
Yeah. Well, she already know like you said, she already kinda knows she likes him, but he doesn't know, so, like, he's gonna have to what's his thing gonna be? Or does he is he not gonna like her? Is he gonna
Oh,
date
like
someone else and
what's,
she's gonna get upset?
oh, yeah, probably that.
Probably that, yeah.
Yeah, I
I
hope it's
is he
that.
oblivious or does he not like her? What's
And
your take?
I think he can't, I think he has never been able to figure out whether he likes her or not because he can't look fully at her because of the unibrow. So he's always looking next to her, and so he hasn't realized that aside from the unibrow, she's actually very beautiful.
Yeah. I like,
I don't know how he hasn't seen her ass.
not even in spite of the unibrow, I like it on her, it looks nice.
Huh.
I think it just looks like it's kind of like, 80s supermodel, like, 80s, 90s supermodel Cindy Crawford type, like, full maybe a hair or 2 can be removed, so but I think I don't know, it, like, suits her in an interesting way and makes her interesting. Okay, this is my other, like, last grievance. I was really hoping that did you watch White Lotus?
A little. I watched the first few episodes.
Oh, okay. Well, I was hoping, like, the pirates would in the very beginning when they were, like, on the rich people's boat, I was hoping we'd get more, like more of that and more like a White
Yeah.
Lotus, like, seeing them rob rich people, and we just got the one
Yes.
and that was a big letdown for me because it just was reminding me of Jennifer Coolidge on the boat,
Yeah.
um, and I was
Yeah, I
really
would say
bummed.
this episode had a lot of potential, but
Yeah.
it was not our best.
Not my favorite,
How
but
many
was it
red
still fun? Great.
Of course it was still fun.
Yeah, so fun.
How many red bathing suits would you give it?
2.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm
Okay, cool.
right there with you. I'm gonna give it a 2 because I just there's so much room to blow my socks off. This ain't it.
I would love for people to follow us on all of our social media.
Mhm.
It's at Baywatchers Pod, all the places.
Yeah.
YouTube, you can watch us on YouTube if you're listening to this on one of your streaming platforms.
We look like this.
We look like this. If you're not watching this, you'll see what we look like. And then you'll be able to know whose voice is whose, which
I
is
don't know if
very
it's gonna be
fun.
as helpful as you think, to be honest.
Oh, well, watching the words come out of our mouths, I
Oh,
think will
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
helpful.
That's true.
Okay.
But we are 2 curly-haired white girls. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
we
yeah.
could have done more to differentiate.
Personally, not probably. This is who I am and what I look like.
That's true.
I guess I coulda gone goth or something.
What if you were
Next time.
goth just for our Baywatch podcast?
Yeah. Well, I'm goth in my heart, but yeah, not in how I look. I look like a cat lady art teacher, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but I'm trying to lean more into goth, okay? I'm trying to be more edgy, but it's just not what my hair
Well,
and face is giving.
you're wearing the heavy metal shirt.
I am wearing a yeah, that's how I, like, make up for it.
Well, I'm CJ Hadley.
I'm Nicole Mackey.
This has been Baywatchers. Bye.
Bye, end podcast.
End podcast.